Hello, everyone. Welcome to Diego Knows. I am Diego. Today, we're going to talk about what else? Sex and the City. All right, the original show from the late '90s, early 2000s, back when the show was good. My name is Diego, and I have seen every single episode of Sex and the City, every single one, and I watched both movies. And I sat through that piece of shit called In Just Like Crap. All right, I watched the whole thing. I reviewed that whole show. If you want to watch it, it's here on the channel. But today, we're going to talk about the original show. Now, the thing about Sex and the City, what I really liked about the show was I liked how it portrayed the women, how the characters on the show were. I liked how all four women had completely different personalities. The only thing they really had in common was that they were all white, they were all straight, and they all, well, we thought they were, and that they all were all single and no kids. Okay, so we got to see their point of view. They're all middle-aged, you know. We got to see their point of view of dating, which is something you don't really get to see too much of, you know. So I thought that was interesting, you know, to see what it's like. I mean, I'm a guy. I know what it's like to date as a man. I don't know what it's like to date as a woman. So this show kind of opened my eyes towards that phenomenon, you know, what it's like. So that's why I like the show so much. I did not like how they treated the men on the show. I thought the men were treated like crap. The straight guys in particular were given no respect. They were pretty much shown as disposable. They were shown as, you know, as stupid. They would lose their tempers really fast for no reason, no good reason at all. So I didn't like the way the men were portrayed on the show. So what I try to do here is I try to give you a straight man's point of view, what a straight man really would do in these situations, what a straight man really would say, what they really would think in these situations, okay? To give it to you from a straight man's point of view. And I have not watched these episodes in many years. I started re-watching them recently so I could refamiliarize myself with the show, kind of go back in time and remember what it was like for me back in the 90s, you know, back when the show was going on. So that's what I'm here to do. I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth here, okay? I don't lie here, okay? I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you things. If you're a woman, I'm going to tell you things that you probably didn't know, okay? I'm going to tell you the things that your boyfriends, your husbands, they're not going to tell you, okay? And you guys, you know damn well that I'm telling you the truth, all right? So that's what I do here, okay? I'm going to tell you the truth, okay? What really would happen, all right? If these situations were real, how the straight men would really act, okay? Because the biggest problem I had whenever I talked to a bunch of girls about the show, you know, and they would say something, oh, this happened in that episode, oh my God, and I'd be like, that's bullshit. And they're like, no, it's not bullshit. Women really do act that way. You're the one who's full of shit. You're the one who doesn't know what you're talking about, okay? You just can't handle the truth. You can't handle real women having their own, and being in charge of their own sexual dominance. I was like, no, I'm not saying the women are bullshit. I'm saying the guys are bullshit. Okay, the guys in the show are bullshit. They don't act that way, okay? And they don't. And this episode that we're going to talk about today, I remember this episode specifically because this is the example I would always use whenever I was having a discussion with women about how unrealistic Sex and the City was. I would always use this episode today as the example for why this show was unrealistic. Okay, and I'm going to get to that here in just a moment. The episode that we're talking about today is called, it's season 2, episode 13, and it's called Games People Play. That's the title of the episode, Games People Play. Season 2, episode 13 of Sex and the City. Now, if you remember last episode, Big and Carrie broke up. He went off to France. He might not come back, you know, so that's it. Okay, so she's single again. So what does she do now that she's single? She talks to everyone about it. She's talking to Samantha, Miranda, Charlotte. She won't shut up about Big. She keeps talking about how she's a strong one and Big was immature. He's a narcissist. I was the poof in the relationship. I was the one that did everything. Big was always so into himself. He couldn't see past himself. You know, he was always thinking about himself. You know, he was dumb. He didn't understand how to do these things. And I was the one that understood how to do everything. I was the one that was keeping the relationship going. It was never Big. Big was always screwing it up. I was the one that was always saving it. You know, I'm the poof in the relationship. You know, I'm the one that kept everything together. Big would lose his temper. I was the only one that kept his maturity. I'm the only one, you know, that had my act together. I'm the only one who, you know, after a while you get tired of hearing this shit. Now, we've all been through breakups, and yes, sometimes we talk too much about our exes, especially when it was the other person that broke up with us. And I think that's what her girlfriends, Carrie's girlfriends, are going through that right now. They're like, what the fuck? You need to shut up about this guy. I'm tired of hearing about this guy. You're talking about Big over and over again. So they have like an intervention for her. Like she's talking about Big again at the park, and the girl's just sitting there together looking at her, and she's like, what? What is it? What? They're like, okay, you're completely obsessed with Big. We're tired of it. We're sick and tired of you always talking about Big all the damn time. That's all you ever talk about. She's like, well, you're my friends. He's like, you know, go see a therapist. You know, Samantha's like, you know, we're just as fucked up as you are. Now, coming from the woman that's always giving everyone else advice about men, she's like, we're just as fucked up as you are. Miranda says, you need to go see a therapist and talk to your therapist about it. We're tired of hearing about it. We're sick and tired of hearing about it. you know? And she's like, I don't believe in therapy. Therapy is self-indulgence. It's just stupid. These people don't know me. They don't know what I'm going through. They can't help me out, you know? And Charlotte's like, hey, listen, everyone in my family, we all saw therapists, and we work out whenever we we have mental problems, we exercise, that's why everyone in my family are great tennis players. Gosh, Charlotte's a ditz, but Miranda's seen a therapist, so yeah, it's not helping her, but she's seen one, And so they're all telling her she needs to get help, and she doesn't like the idea of therapy. She thinks it's stupid, thinks it's for crazy people. She doesn't see herself as crazy. And I understand that. You know what? If you've got mental problems, first of all, you've got to admit that you've got mental problems, okay? If you're suffering through like a depression or anxiety or anything like that, there's no shame in getting help for it. I mean, that's what therapists are there for. That's what psychologists are there for. They're there to help you deal with life, to deal with your mind, the issues of mental health, So many people don't do it. If you need help mentally, there's people that are trained to do that. They're trained to help you, deal with your issues. That's what they're there for. So if you can use it, by all means, go get help. I mean, if you had a problem with your tooth, you'd go see a dentist, right? I mean, if you were sick, you'd go see a doctor, right? So you have some mental issues, you go see a therapist. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm totally all for mental health. I'll tell you this, man, mental health saves more lives than it annoys, okay? I mean, when I think about all the people out there, that commit suicide or whatever, or fall into some serious depression, I mean, that's what mental health counselors are there for. They're there to help you out, So I take advantage of it. By all means, I advocate it all the way. All right, so Carrie is wondering how does she go from being pleasantly neurotic to being annoyingly troubled, because now she sees herself as troubled, okay? So she talks to Stanford about it this time, just Stanford. And Stanford's like, how can you not be seeing a therapist? Everyone in New York's seeing a therapist. I'm seeing 3 therapists myself. One when I need coddling, one for when I need tough love, and one when I just want to look at a good-looking guy. And that's why I have the other 2. Yeah, so Stanford recommends Dr. G. Gwyneth Paltrow sees her. And she's like, why does Gwyneth Paltrow see Dr. G? Because she suffers from high self-esteem. She suffers from a lot more than that, okay? And anyone out there who's going to tell you to make candles out of your shit, all right? It's kind of fucked up in the head, okay? With her goop, whatever the fuck Gwyneth Paltrow's, whatever she's fucking, her medicine show that she's fucking pitching right now. Oh my God, what a weirdo. And then she's not all there, okay? Gwyneth Paltrow, she's coddled, okay? She grew up rich, New Yorker. Her mom was an actress, a Broadway actress. Her dad was a Broadway director. I mean, she grew up in the industry. She thinks she knows everything. Spoiled, rich bitch, Gwyneth Paltrow. Absolutely, I got very little respect for her, okay? But anyway, she's there. Okay, she was hot shit back in the late 90s. Remember? All the shit she was in Shakespeare in Love, and what was that one she did where she was cheating on her husband, Michael Douglas, with Viggo Mortensen, Yeah, she's a crazy girl. Oh, well. And she dated like Brad Pitt and Ben Affleck, I think at the same time or something. Yeah. And don't tell me she wasn't sleeping with Harvey. She was totally fucking sleeping with Harvey Weinstein. Don't believe that bullshit about Brad Pitt tried to save her. She fucked Harvey Weinstein to get her fucking roles, okay? How do you think she got the Shakespeare in Love role, okay? Hell yeah, she slept with Harvey Weinstein. Okay, anyway, moving right along. So Carrie decides to go visit Dr. G. All right. Meanwhile, Miranda's sitting in her apartment reading her book, and she looks across, and there's a guy, I guess he's a sexy, hot guy, who's her neighbor, who's across the alley. There's an alley between her and the next building, and he's in front of the window in his apartment looking across the alley to her, and he's spying on her. Well, it looks that way, but he's just standing there in his t-shirt like, and she's like, she runs away and hides behind the wall, and she looks over. I guess the guy's good looking, so she's kind of getting turned on. Like maybe she play like a little peekaboo with him. So later on, she's there, and she's kind of waiting for him to show up, and there he is. He's got his shirt off, bare-chested, and he's just got a towel on. He's just, like, looking across the window, like. And she gets all like, ooh, okay. And then he decides to turn around, and shows his ass. Yeah, his hot, fucking, well-oiled ass. Okay, and Miranda's just like, well, okay. And she shows her boobie. I think it's the only time we ever see her boobie, We've all seen boobies, you know. I guess to her it's a big deal though, right? And he's just like, you know. So now she thinks she's having like this flirtation thing going around with her neighbor across the alley, you know. And she's like looking forward to it now. Yeah. Some weirdo shit. Let me tell you something, dude. Why do you got your windows open like that? Okay, I lived in high rises before, okay? Okay, nobody has their windows open like that unless they're doing it on purpose, all right? Nobody has their windows open like that for the whole fucking world to see. You know, when they're walking around naked and shit. Come on, get out of here. Okay, meanwhile, Dr. G and Carrie, she goes to visit Dr. G, is this lady, and she tells her, so, well, I'm here because my friends say that I talk about my ex too much. And she says, then just to give you a heads up, I don't believe in therapy. She's like, I believe that I can solve my own problems. But, you know, I just talk about my ex too much, and that's why I'm here for help. And Dr. G says, oh, well, tell me about him. What is it about him? And she says, well, he's smart. He's sexy. He's totally screwed up. He loves to play games. And I guess I just didn't know the rules. Games? Okay, ladies, I'm going to hit you with a hammer here, okay? And men, you know this, all right? Ladies, men, we do not play games, okay? That's not something that men do. We don't play games, okay? You call it games, okay? What men do is we seduce. Those of us that know how to do it, we seduce, okay? We manipulate. We get you to go crazy for us, okay? And we do it by saying certain things and by doing certain things, okay? We know that 1 + 1 = 2, okay? So if we do this, if A equals B, the result will be C, okay? That's what we do. Now, you call it games. If that's what you want to call it. But that's not what it is, okay? It's seduction, okay? It's timed. We do it on purpose, okay? We don't do it to play games. We do it to seduce you because we know this drives you crazy, okay? And the more crazy you are, the more attracted you are to us, all right? That's the truth, okay? It's better for you to go crazy not knowing whether we like you or not, whether we like you or not, rather than be bored, okay? If you're bored in a relationship, that means that the guy is not playing the games, okay? He's not seducing you, okay? This is what we do. Now, the reason girls call it games is because they know it fucking works. It knows that we are seducing you and that you're falling for it and that it turns you on. And you don't want to admit to anybody that it works. So instead of calling it, he seduced me, you say it's games. You say we play games. We don't play games. We seduce. You call it games. We call it seduction. And the fact that it gets under your skin so much, okay, is because you know goddamn well it works. You know goddamn well you fall for it. And you know goddamn well that you'd rather have that than be bored, okay? So don't call it games, okay? You call it games for your benefit, to make you feel better about yourself, okay? We don't call it games because that's not what it is. We're seducing you, okay? And you're falling for it, okay? That's the truth. It's a pride thing. You should let go of the pride. I know you aren't going to do that, but you should just let go of your pride in this instance, okay? Okay, not all guys can do this, can pull this off, but the ones that can know they're doing it. Okay, the Casanovas out there that know how to do this, they know it works. Okay, you only call it games after you realize that you fell for it, and now you're hurt, and you don't want to admit that that he turned you on and got you going, got your motor revving. You don't want to admit that, so you call, oh, he plays games. I'm tired of games. You know, whenever you see like a Tinder profile or an OkCupid, you know, they always say like, oh, I'm tired of playing games. I'm too old for games. Bull fucking shit. You're too old for games, okay? If it wasn't for games, okay, the world wouldn't get repopulated, okay? So quit your fucking bullshit. Nobody fucking believes it, okay? All right, moving right along. Okay, so the Dr. G says, so you play games? She's like, no, I'm not the one playing games. He was the one playing the games, you know? I was just along for the ride. You know, and Dr. G says like, was this the first time you dated a man that couldn't give you what you wanted? She's like, well, that's easy. I mean, come on, that's not a fair question. I mean, I mean, yeah, maybe I dated some men that were wrong for me, but who hasn't, you know? She's got a good point. So the guy didn't give you what you wanted, and it's his fault, right? Okay. Because Big didn't give her the relationship that she wanted. He wasn't ready to go there. At least not as fast as she wanted to. Why is this his fault? Good question, right? So Dr. G says, the thing that you have in common with all these other men is you. Now, we've all heard this before. It's a cliche now. We've all heard this before. Maybe you're picking the wrong men. Okay, so later on, Carrie starts talking to her girlfriends. You know, maybe you're picking the wrong men. And she tells that to Samantha. Samantha's like, oh, I could have told you that. And Carrie's like, well, maybe I'm just picking the wrong therapist, okay? Because she's over here saying that I'm playing games. You know, and Charlotte's like, well, that's the only way to deal with men is you have to play games. No, you don't. Okay, that's how you choose to deal with men to save your own self-esteem so you don't have to admit to anyone, okay, that it fucking works, okay? That's what you do. That's the truth, okay? But Miranda's like, no, relationships are about mature, honest communication. And Carrie's like, coming from a woman who's playing peekaboo with her neighbor across the alley? Good one, Carrie. Touche. Okay, Samantha's like, you know, the only way you can control men is in bed. If we controlled all the blowjobs, we would rule the world. Really? Would rule the world, huh? If you control all the blowjobs. I swear to God. Samantha, someone needs to pop her balloon, man. Because sometimes the shit that she says just makes no fucking sense. It's not practical and it would never work in real life, okay? I think it's kind of funny that Samantha is the one that's giving, every episode she gives the other women advice. But yet she can't do a relationship, you know? All the other women are trying to get into relationships, but Samantha's the only one who's not, and yet she gives everyone advice on how relationships work. I don't think so. But oh well. Okay, so Charlotte says, like, you know, in relationships you have to play games, you know, and Carrie says, oh, well, that's what I guess me and Big did play games, and look how that turned out. And Charlotte's like, well, maybe the game isn't over. Maybe it's just halftime. And of course, Miranda says, like, you're just delusional. Yeah, Miranda says she's delusional. Okay, Carrie's like, you know, I don't pick the wrong guys. They pick me. I'm like a fly strip for dysfunctional men. And Samantha, of course, she's all about fucking supporting this fucking train of thought. Oh, it's all slim pickings out there. I can't even swipe my purse without hitting 5 losers. Oh, losers, huh? Where did all the great guys go? That's what I want to know. Where did all the great guys go? I know where they went, Samantha. They went to an island called Not With You. Okay? Oh, you know, someday I'm going to have to do an episode just about you, Samantha. You know, you're very, there's 2 ways of approaching men here. Okay, there's more than 2 ways, but there's 2 main ways, okay? There is instant gratification and then long-term reward, okay? Samantha is instant gratification. She cannot handle long-term reward, okay? At least not yet, anyway, okay? Samantha, good men, the high-value men, don't want to be with you, okay? The show's not going to tell you that. There's a reason someone like Big would never date you, Samantha. You know why? Because there's nothing in it for him. There's nothing that you can give him that you haven't already given half the fucking city, okay? Nothing. Which means you're not as valuable. So why does a valuable man want a woman who's not valuable? Exactly. Yeah, okay. Sorry, I got to hit you with some truth bombs there, but it's true, okay? All right, so they end up going to a sports bar, okay? And it's nothing but guys in there, okay? Now I'm gonna raise the first bullshit flag right there, okay? Obviously, I've been to many sports bars, okay? When teams are playing and stuff. And yes, it is mostly guys. They got that right, but it's not always guys, okay? They walk in there, and these 4 women are the only women in the bar. It's full of guys, Okay, that's fucking bullshit. Anyone who's ever been to a sports bar, especially when there's a game going on, knows goddamn well, yes, the customers are guys, okay? But the bartenders and the waitresses are always women. They're always pretty, hot, young women, okay? It's that way on purpose, okay? The pretty, hot, young women are there. They know damn well these guys are gonna tip them a lot of fucking money. And they're gonna keep coming back to see the same pretty girls behind the bar or serving their drinks. Okay, so yes, there'll be mostly guys, customers, but it'll be exclusively hot women who are working the bars. Okay, and in this episode, you've got a guy bartender who comes up there. You know, you got a guy waiter who goes up to the girls and gives them free beers. Oh, it's ladies' night. You know, so beers are free. You know, and the girl, oh, this is heaven. You know, bull fucking shit. It will be hot women in there working that bar. Okay, and also there will be women there too. There'd be women in there wearing their jerseys, you know, because there's female fans out there. There's female sports fans out there too. I've met plenty of them, okay? I know girls that are fucking harder about college football than I am. They scream at the TV louder than I do. Yeah, you know? So yeah, and there's plenty of girls that are fans also that'll be there too. It's not just going to be guys. It's not just going to be a sausage fest, okay? It will be a lot of guys there, but it's not going to be exclusively guys. In this episode, it's exclusively guys. That's bullshit. All right, bullshit flag number 1. All right, no, there will always be women there, okay? Working there if nothing else. All right, so Samantha notices some guy over there. His name is Don. And he's a big Knicks fan. There's a Knicks game going on. So that's what all the guys are going crazy about, the Knicks game. I don't know who they're playing, though. I never liked the Knicks, you know. I'm a Bulls fan from Chicago. I love the Bulls, all right? That's just me. All right, Nick, I'm sorry, he's a Knicks fan. Don loves the Knicks. He starts sports screaming. He's screaming at the TV, come on, you missed that pass. What the hell? You know. And Samantha, of course, these girls obviously don't know shit about sports, okay? They're out of their element. They're just there to look at the guys and kind of take it, oh my God, this is where guys go? Like, oh my God, look at all these guys in here. They're doing guy things in here. They're talking like guys do. Wow, I feel like I'm in a museum, like I'm in a zoo. That's kind of how these girls are coming across. And Samantha's no different, okay? For a woman who knows so much about men, she don't know shit about men, okay? She's sitting there like confused that this guy is all going crazy about the sports and every guy's going crazy. And she's like, oh, what sport are they playing? What is that? Where does the ball go? You know, she just doesn't know shit about fucking sports, okay? But and she's not dressed like she's a sports fan. She's dressed like she's hot to trot, you know? So anyway, yeah. So she doesn't realize it. So he's just acting all crazy. Another thing, man, if there's a pretty girl around you, even when I'm in a guy area, if there's a beautiful woman around me, I've had a few drinks, I'm watching the game or something, you know, and I notice a hot girl there, hey, I'm going to be on my best behavior. I'm going to start giving her, if she's giving me attention and she's hot and I'm attracted to her, I'm going to start giving her attention too. Excuse me. I'm not just going to specifically focus just on the game. I'm going to look at her too. You know, and if I'm getting these eyes from her, like maybe she might like me, you know, then I'm going to work on that as well. I'm not just going to pay attention to the game. Okay, at least when the commercials are on, then I'll be talking to her, oh, what's your name? Hey, how are you doing? You know, that kind of thing, you know. I'm going to give her some attention too, okay? Because yes, I'm here for the sports, but if there's a hot girl flirting with me, yeah, I'm going to talk to her too, okay? I'm not going to ignore her and just do the whole sports thing. That's bullshit. I'm still a man. All right. So that happens, and later on that night, she ends up having sex with him. Okay, and his name, like I said, his name is Don. Okay, moving right along. The thesis of this episode is called "Do you have to play games to make a relationship work?" That's the thesis. All right. So we get some POV shots again. Some guy, he says like, "Yeah, you know, I met this girl. You know, she gave me her number, and I waited 3 days before he called. That's the rule. You wait 3 days before you call." Then it goes to the girl like, oh yeah, some guy, he made me wait 3 days. You know, so what I did is I had my answer machine take his call, and then I didn't call him back till next week. You know, and then another woman says like, yeah, well, you know, I told my boyfriend, you know, he better propose to me by December, because if he doesn't, I'm getting pregnant. And I'm just like, oh God, games people play, right? I don't know, man. That's just scary shit right there. But okay, so moving right along, Carrie goes to see Dr. G again, and she's there a little bit early, so she's reading the magazine there, and Dr. G's with her first patient. He's walking out the door, and guess who it is? It's Bon Jovi. Fuck yeah, Bon Jovi. John Bon Jovi, he's there, right? And he comes, now here's where I got to raise the bullshit flag again, okay? Because Bon Jovi, he's not playing Bon Jovi in this episode. He's playing some photographer named Seth, a normal guy, all right? Well, maybe a little not normal, but he's just an average guy, okay? Not a fucking musician, not a fucking rock star, okay? But Carrie is treating him like it's the real Bon Jovi, not like he's a normal guy. You see? Bullshit flag. Now, us, the audience, we all know goddamn well that's John Bon Jovi, okay? We know he's living on a prayer, right? We know that, okay? But he's not playing himself in this episode. So why are the characters in this episode treating him like he's a fucking rock star? Okay? Because the audience is treating him like he's a rock star because he is a rock star. But in this episode, he's not playing a rock star. Okay? But they're treating him like he is a rock star. Bullshit. Bull fucking shit. So Carrie looks at him, he's cute, you know, she gets all excited because Bon Jovi's there. She finds out his name is Seth and she's attracted to him, you know, and they start talking in less than 2 minutes. In less than fucking 2 minutes, he asks her out to dinner and she says yes. How the fuck does that happen with a normal guy? A normal, ordinary, average, okay, better than average looking guy, but still a stranger. Some of you don't fucking know walking out of a fucking shrink's office, okay? And he asks you out on a date within 2 minutes of meeting you, and you say yes. How often does that happen in real fucking life? Now, if it was Bon Jovi, yes, I'm sure you could get a girl in 30 seconds, okay? But he's not playing Bon Jovi here. He's playing an ordinary guy named Seth, who is a photographer who's seeing a fucking shrink, and she agrees to go out with him within less than 2 minutes of meeting him. Are you out of your fucking mind? Who the fuck has game like that? Like I said, if he was playing himself in this episode, I would believe it. But he's not playing himself. He's playing a fucking ordinary guy. No ordinary guy can pick up a girl that looks like Carrie that fucking fast. Okay. But this episode, just go with it. Just go with it. All right. Of course, Carrie says yes, okay. So she talks to Samantha. Turns out that Samantha's dating that guy, Don, now. And now she's a Knicks fan. So now she's out there going crazy, watching the game, screaming at the TV, eating her popcorn, eating her chips, drinking her beer. Oh my God, come on, guys. Hustle, hustle, let's go. Oh, damn. God damn, what the fuck? You know, like she's acting like a guy, basically. And Carrie's like, what the fuck? How did this happen to you, Samantha? Like, when did you become a fucking sports fan? Okay? And she says, oh, well, Don is obsessed. He's obsessed with the Knicks, you know? And if they lose, I'm not getting any. All right? He will not fuck me unless his team wins. And right now, they're on a losing streak, so I really need them to win this game. All right. This is exactly what I'm talking about, all right? Whenever I talk about how this show is not realistic, how it's bullshit, this is the specific scene I'm talking about. Okay, let me tell you something, ladies, okay? And for all the gay guys that wrote this episode, okay? God, I've said it so many times. Sports and sex are two things that men typically enjoy, straight men. But these things are completely separate from each other, okay? Completely separate. They do not intermingle at all. It's actually like two different hemispheres of the brain, honestly. Two completely different things, okay? How a guy feels about a sports team has absolutely nothing to fucking do with how a guy feels about a woman he's having sex with, okay? These are two completely fucking different things. They do not relate to each other in any fucking way, at all. At all, okay? There is absolutely no correlation between whether my favorite basketball team is winning, is going to make it to the playoffs, or whether I'm fucking my girlfriend, okay? There is no fucking correlation, okay? There is no fucking correlation between hockey and how often I'm fucking my girlfriend, okay? The men are interested in both of these things, okay? But they are not together. They're two completely separate things that have nothing to do with each other. So if a guy is not fucking you because his favorite team is losing, the problem is not that his favorite team is losing. The problem is something else. Okay? It's not that his team is losing. One has absolutely nothing to do with the other. They're not related in any fucking way. So if you watch this episode and you think that there's guys out there that won't fuck their girlfriends because their favorite team is losing, is not going to make it to the playoffs, then you're full of fucking shit. That is not the truth at all. At all. If he's not giving it to you, okay, it's something else. There's another reason. It's not because his favorite team is losing, okay? That's bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Okay, moving right along. Okay, so Bon Jovi and Carrie go out on a date. They're talking. You know, he tells her that he was bored going to therapy until Carrie came along. Not Carrie's like, he thinks I'm pretty. Yeah. All right, so they're flirting around. Meanwhile, Miranda goes to the grocery store and she sees her neighbor, the guy that's been playing peekaboo with each other, the one she's been flashing. He's been flashing, you know. She showed her titty, he showed his ass. You know, she sees him at the grocery store, so she kind of follows him down the aisle, and then she finally goes up and introduces herself. Hi, I'm Miranda. I'm your neighbor. You know, I just thought we should meet in person, make it official. You know, you live across from me. You know, you're the one. You know, I'm the one that you don't recognize me. I'm the one that was. You know, we've been showing each other stuff. And he's like, oh yeah, you're the chick that lives above the guy who I've been cruising for the past month. She's like, oh. She gets the fuck out of there. Because of course he's gay. Of course. I mean, when you run out of ideas on a show, what do you do? Oh, he's just gay. Oh, okay, yeah, he's gay. Because on this show, in this universe that this show takes place, it's like what, 60% of all people on the show are gay, of guys are gay. Because that's realistic, you know. Of course, it's New York. All right. So she runs out of there. She feels like she made a fool of herself, and she did. You know, but I don't know what's worse, that or fucking, you know, showing off your naked body parts across. Maybe some people think it's sexy, and to some point it can be sexy, you know, but not when you're doing it, you know, across from each other. When anybody else with an open window can see what you're doing, you know, it's just too out there for me, you know. All right. Meanwhile, back to Bon Jovi. Yes, Bon Jovi and Carrie. All right. So they're out and they decide they're gonna fuck. So they actually go back to her place, okay, which is kind of weird because she went from meeting this guy to going to dinner with him and then bringing him back to her place within the space of a few hours, okay? Didn't it take Big like a fucking year before he even saw Carrie's apartment? Did it take like a year for Big to even see her apartment? Exactly. Bon Jovi saw it in a few hours, okay? Yeah. And you wonder why you and Big aren't together right now. I bet you that thought never crossed your mind, did it, huh? All right, but he's there because, like I said, they're treating him like Bon Jovi. They're not treating him like a fucking photographer named Seth. Okay? So, so she ends up having sex with him. They play Twister first. Sorry, they play Twister. She pulls out because, you know, the episode is about games. They play Twister, you know, the yellow on the foot, blah, blah, all the other kind of crazy stuff, which, I'm sorry, I mean, playing Twister is not fucking sexy to me. It's not. It's like playing chess. That's not sexy to me. You know what's sexy to me? Having sex. That's sexy to me, okay? Not playing Twister. Now, I know there's like weird foreplay out there. I guess there's nothing weird about it, but, you know, just nah. You know, what's sexy to me is is not Twister, okay? It's human Twister, all right? Naked Twister. Not fucking Twister with your clothes on. Trying to act like we don't know what the fuck's about to happen, okay? Get the fuck out of here. All right. So, Samantha and Dawn are watching the final Knicks game, and they win. They win the game. So Samantha's all excited and Don's like, yeah, we won, yeah, all right. So now she's thinking, okay, let's fuck. And then all of a sudden he's like, oh, no. Now that basketball season's over, I got to watch baseball. The Mets are playing and they're not doing so well this year. Oh, my God. He's watching the game. He's like, oh. And Samantha's just like, her whole fucking libido is tied to whether this guy's favorite team wins or not. You know, so she says, fuck this, I'm out of here. 86 this asshole, you know, and I already told you, I already screamed it, okay? There's no fucking such thing as a guy's libido being attached to his fucking favorite baseball team or basketball team or football team. That's all fucking bullshit, okay? That's something the gay writers of this show came up with because they think that's how straight guys really are. Okay, oh, it would be a good idea if it was his favorite team. You know, straight guys love sports, right? Well, guess what? If his favorite team doesn't win, then he can't get a hard on. Isn't that a great idea? I'm going to write that. Get the fuck out of here. Oh, well, okay. So anyway, yeah. Thanks, Michael Patrick King. Yeah. All right. So there's that. And Samantha says gets the fuck out of there. Okay, so so Bon Jovi and Carrie, like I said, they had sex, and they wake up the next day, and Carrie, you know, looks at him. They're in bed, and Carrie looks at him, and she's like, I wonder what Dr. G would say about this, you know? And he says, it's bad. She would say, your love is like bad medicine. Bad medicine is what I need. Whoa, shake it up just like bad medicine. There ain't no doctor that can cure my disease. Anyway, that's what Dr. G would say. And Carrie says, you know what? I know that we've been having sex and we've only known each other for less than a day. But you know what? I just thought of this right now. I would like to ask you a question if it's okay. Why exactly are you seeing Dr. G? Because the thought never occurred to me until right now, after we had sex. He says, oh, well, there's a very good reason why I see Dr. G. You see, the problem is that after I fuck a girl for the first time, I totally lose interest in them. Carrie's like, Carrie, what the fuck did you expect, okay? Is this like a record for you? Like from meeting a guy to fucking him? It was like there's a couple of hours. What'd you think was gonna fucking happen? You think you're gonna find a boyfriend this way? You think you're gonna find a guy who gave two shits about you that you don't fucking know? Like I said, if this was Bon Jovi, I would believe it. But he's not playing himself in this episode. He's playing a normal guy. Why would you fuck a normal guy this fucking fast? And then be surprised when you find out he don't give a shit about you. What the fuck? How stupid can you fucking be? You waited this long to ask him why he's seeing a fucking shrink? Are you fucking stupid? Must be. Oh, well. So Carrie says, oh, well, I'm seeing doctor because I picked the wrong men. I think maybe it's more like the right men pick you. And then they wake up and get the fuck out. All right. So she decides to quit therapy. And because she's too embarrassed to go back and face Dr. G, you know. And that's how the episode ends. You know, I got to tell you, you know, I mean, what were you looking for, Carrie? Okay, did you ever once think that any guy that you meet from a doctor's office, that you meet him and then within a few hours you have dinner and then you have sex and you bring him back to your place and have sex with him, that's going to lead to something meaningful? Why would you even think that? You fucked enough guys to know damn well that it doesn't lead anywhere meaningful. It's just sex. That's all it is. Which has its virtues in its own right, you know, but it's not going to go anywhere. So why are you all pissed off? Anyway, that was episode 13. Thank you for watching my review, and I'll be back with you on the next one. Have a good one.